Hey, welcome back, folks. The Ray program, bringing you the best in money information. We do it every day, noon o'clock Eastern. That'd be 9 on the other coast. Lyn Rowe, certified financial planner, helping me out. Are you ready to take some calls with me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for being here, by the way.
Thank you for being here.
Let's see if we can get to John out in North Carolina. Hello there, John. How you doing today? Hello, John. Okay. So John had a question about something. Do we have John there, Bobby? Okay, we're going to give him 1 second. John had a question. He's 62 years old, just inherited a bunch of money.
Right.
And wants to know, okay, what do I do with $700,000? That's a legitimate question.
That is a legitimate question.
But I can't answer it until I know more about
Context.
John, right?
Context.
Yeah, because John could already be a bazillionaire.
Yeah.
And, you know, he may be able to give it to charity.
Right.
Or buy a big insurance policy and leave tons of money.
Right.
So, which, by the way, is not a bad strategy for people that have tons of money.
Exactly.
Because then it becomes a question of what's your internal rate of return upon when you die.
Right.
And it's hard to beat an insurance policy for something
Right.
like that. But John may need extra income, so it really is going to depend on what John's goals are. So I don't know, we got lost in cyberspace here.
Out there.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point, and that is that until you know the context of someone's situation, it's really hard to make good recommendations.
You didn't hear, because I think you just walked in as I was finishing my last segment, but I talked about the value of financial advice.
Right.
You've been in the financial advice business for a little more than 1,000 years.
Yeah, more years than I'm going to admit.
Oh, do we have John? Okay, hey there, John, how you doing?
Oh, we lost John.
Okay, so in the midst of all of that, he got frustrated and hung up. So I was talking about financial advisors.
Right.
And how the good ones, according to the Vanguard study, can add about 3% net of all fees per year to one's overall investment returns. And then the Morningstar study said 1.59%.
Closer.
Well, here's what the Vanguard study included that the Morningstar didn't. And that is what you do for a living, the coaching part, which is about 1.5%. Just showing up and talking me off the ledge is worth, get this, 1.5% per year, just to have somebody, a sounding board that can help you, do some strategizing, but more importantly, coaching them to make good decisions instead of bad decisions.
Not shooting themselves in the foot.
Yes.
Because people make emotional decisions with their money, which is the worst.
So I have an email that I was talking about earlier. Somebody said, the woman, I'll get to this in a little bit, but the woman said something like, I want to buy long-term care with the extra money that we have. They're in their mid to late 40s. My husband wants to buy a bass boat. I'll let you answer that question. You've heard that one before.
Oh,
it's so
times.
True. It's a legitimate email.
Yep.
You got the guy on one hand saying, nothing's ever going to happen to me.
Right.
I'm buying the bass boat.
Yeah.
And the wife is saying,
no,
we
you're
need
not.
long-term care.
We need the long-term care.
Who's going to win the argument?
Well, I'm not even going to guess on that one, but what I can tell you is that she's looking at the reality of the fact that if he needs care, and let's face it, it can happen at any age, it can happen for lots of reasons, but if he needs care without having that plan in place, she is the designated caregiver. And
what's amazing is in the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
It brought it home, didn't it, Ray?
It brought it home to me personally because I had a personal medical situation out on a boat.
Yep.
86 gajillion miles from nowhere.
Yeah.
And I had the helicopter life flight, the whole deal. I'm happy to be here, trust me. But also a very, very close friend of mine who's only a couple years older than me. I mean, I'm talking about really, really close friend. Had a stroke like that. Now, unlike me, who I enjoyed the meatballs and the lasagna and all the good foods, this guy, he ran every day. I don't know if he ate tofu, but he was eating the green veggies and taking the shakes in the morning.
Yeah.
He did everything right. God bless his soul. Al had a stroke, and he still is in now a convalescent care facility. We pray for him daily. He's got to be in his late 60s.
That's
young.
Yeah.
He's as skinny as a rail.
Yeah.
And so you don't know when these kinds of things hit you and why it's so important. So my advice is don't buy the bass boat, okay? I mean, come on.
Or split the difference, for Pete's sake. I mean, obviously they're in their 40s. They, he'd like to enjoy some of those years with his wife and go play, and that's true. So, and I say this over and over and over again, Ray, pick the budget. Don't ask somebody how much it costs, because you're just giving them carte blanche and a blank check to say, oh, well, this is what it costs. No, you say to them, this is what I will allocate towards solving that problem, and make it fit your budget.
One of the things that you and Gene Pastoul have taught me about over the years is this linked benefits thing. And I think here's a pretty cool idea. How much does a bass boat cost, by the way? 25, 30 grand?
You're asking me.
So if you've got like 50 or 100,000 bucks sitting in that emergency fund earning 0.0000 and a few other 0.1%, you could just put the money in the linked benefits plan.
There's another option.
Get your long-term care.
Yeah.
And borrow the 25,000 bucks back and go buy the bass boat.
Yeah.
There you go. Solution. Problem solved. We take care of the husband, who's he's not gonna have a heart attack out in the middle of the lake.
No, of course not.
Doesn't happen to anybody except guys like me. Isn't that crazy?
Out on that bass boat, like you were out on that.
I was not on a bass boat. I was out on a houseboat in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And thank God for the park services at Lake Powell, because they basically saved my life. It was a really, really harrowing experience.
Yep.
And I learned a couple of things. You must de-stressitize. It wasn't so much the cholesterol, the fat, and all that stuff, because I had checked out pretty good a few months back. It's more about the stress.
Stress is a big part of it.
But
But what we were saying too is that there are congenital things that you just cannot predict. There's no predictor for something like that. I had a friend years ago who had an aneurysm. She didn't know about it. She was in her 30s when she had her stroke.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and basically she didn't have much, except she did have some disability that she happened to pick up on her group benefits one day.
You know what, folks? This is really near and dear to my heart now. I mean, it's been near and dear to my heart for a long time, and I bought my long-term care, thank God, 5, 6, 7 years ago with the help of Ms. Rowe here, certified financial planner. You really need to do this because you don't know when it strikes. I was out in the middle of Lake Powell, 86 gajillion miles from nowhere, and the chest pain hit, and the numbness down the left arm. And I don't have time to get into the story, but between the speedboat dying, having to flag down another boat to take me back to shore, being in an emergent situation, getting a hold of park services, they send a life flight helicopter, they take me on another 50-minute ride, and thank God for the people at the Flagstaff Medical Center, Level 1 Trauma Center. They saved my life. Widowmaker went, 100% blockage. And I have no history, none, of heart disease, not even in my family to speak of.
I'm saying,
yeah,
there's some stats out there for guys that, even if you pay off the mortgage, it's less than 2% chance of that house burning down. He's got a 50% chance.
Go to Lyn's website, which is iwantmyltc.net. More with Lyn Rowe right after this.